Let's have it right. Up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Big up to every single one of you live and locked in. Hope everyone is doing well winning life. First and foremost, I want you all to smash to piece that like button. If you haven't smashed it, smash it right now. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, make sure you do so. We got the notification bell ding dong. Let's have it right so you know when we go live. And we've got the Minerals FC Ultras membership down below in the description. Salute to all the Minerals FC Ultras. Salute to our Chelsea old boys. We see things they'll never see. And salute to the no surrender mentality. You know the deal. And of course, Christ is risen. Happy Easter, every single one of you. I hope you're all having a great bank holiday weekend. And let's have it right. 3 points to Chelsea today. And that's exactly what we're going to get into, bruv. Pressure makes diamonds. And I'll explain why I'm saying that and why the title is that. But let's get straight into it. The team lineup, let's have it right. Can't really question it. That is the strongest team lineup that this gaffer could pick, that any manager at Chelsea would be able to pick. Now, I want to read it out because I want to make a point here. So, standard Sanchez in goal, James, Chalobah, Colwill, Cucurella, Caicedo, Enzo, Madueke, Palmer, Neto, Jackson. And obviously, James is getting picked now because the gaffer felt the pressure. Because he's our captain, he should be playing in must-win Premier League games, and this is a must-win game. Then I look at the bench. The bench, Jorgensen, Tozin, Badishile, Akimpong, Gusto, Lavia, Drewsbury, Weddinall, Sancho, and Tyreek George. Let's have it right. That is a 1.6 billion spent squad. Yeah? That's our squad. Bar Fofana. That is the entire. That's what Clown Lake's money, Blue Coast money, has bought us. To have it right, and obviously we've got Tyreek George on the bench. We've got Akimpong, who are both from Cobham Academy, and we've got Chalobah, who we got brought back from loan, and we've got Colwill and James, all from Cobham. To have it right. So we go into that first half, first 20 minutes, and we concede. Now James had the ball. And everyone's coming at James. You know, he needs to step up. He's our captain. He's our leader. And yes, he is. At the end of the day, if you watch him, he's waiting for someone to come in. Who's the nearest player to him that should have been running in to receive the ball? Because he can see what's behind Reece James. That was Madueke. Madueke, too slow in getting back to get the ball off Reece so he can push up the field. And the midfield was nowhere to be seen with Reece James. So their second Fulham player put the pressure, nick the ball off him. But you can't. There's still a lot of work for Fulham to do. They played it to Iwobi, and that's a great strike. You know, Sanchez, maybe a world-class keeper, might have made the save, but you go 1-0 down, and then it's just like, here we go, bruv. You know, that entire first half, there was a few moments. There was a Reece James cross. There was a Madueke cross. Jackson don't get on the end of nothing. Cole Palmer, not really at it. Neto put in a couple good crosses, but there's no one in there. And that's what you're playing. It's just cross and hope that we can get someone on the end of it. Ultimately, that first half was a stinker across the whole pitch. Every single Chelsea player was just having a shambles. It was all over the gaff. And to be fair to Reece James, like, let's have it right. Was he playing right centre back? Was he inverted? Well, we were told by Enzo Maresca he's going to play in the midfield. He knows how to play in midfield. I don't think Reece James knows where he is anymore, what position he's playing anymore. All right, his mind's all inverted now from this inverted gaffer and all his so-called fraudulent tactics. So I ain't going to blame our skipper. At half time, he takes him off. And he brings on Gusto because he'd rather invert Gusto, who for me just can't invert. And then he brings on Sancho for Madueke, who, to be honest with you, Madueke looked like he was threatening a little bit on the right side. But again, no intensity, no passion, slow on the ball, no direction. The players are just, it looks like they're not even playing for this manager. That's the way it looks, you know. And I've been telling you, that these players have lost trust in Enzo Maresca, and Enzo Maresca don't trust these players. And I don't blame him to an extent, because the squad, everyone goes, oh, our squad. Listen, you got to blame the players. The players, most of them, like I said to you, they don't get into any of Roman's teams, bruv. Hardly about 3 or 4 players at best will get into a Roman Abramovich's most recent team. Forget all the previous teams. It ain't happening. So that tells you in the bench as well, he's just not good enough. Uncle Tozin's in there, Badashile, Jorgensen's rubbish. Akinpong, I rate him, but he's too young. Tyreek George is young. He's, he needs to be bedding. Wedding all championship player. Sancho, he's a freedom fighter who did all right. Don't get me wrong when he come on. And Gusto, I just think he's overrated, injury prone. And Lavia, well, he's never going to play Lavia. Let's have it right. So when you look at that, I just think like you've got to address the players. You cannot just put all the blame on Enzo Maresca because the bottom line is we have got a weaker squad than last year. Cobham carried us last year with Conor Gallagher. Let's have it right. We had Trev Chalobah. We had Thiago Silva in there as well, who has the experience. You know what I'm saying? So we had players in that squad. We've been weakened. We were weakened in January because these fraudulent directors. And now we're going to the squeaky bum time of the season, drawing against Brentford, drawing against Ipswich. I mean, 2 must-win games. This was a must-win game at Craven Cottage. Let's have it right. So in the second half, he makes the changes. He takes off James, just acts our captain, which I think is ridiculous, to be honest with you. And he got punished for it because Gusto come on, he ends up pulling a hammy, bruv. His hammies are made out of cheese string. I mean, this guy's injury prone. So it's like, we ain't going to see him for the rest of the season, muscular issue. Sancho comes on, obviously. Jackson, I mean, this guy couldn't finish a dinner, bruv. He literally shoots like he's had a vasectomy, bruv, when it comes to being in front of goal. That's now 14 straight Premier League games. He's not scored a goal. Cole Palmer, lackluster shot, a few chances. But the change was Tyreek George as centre forward. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the half time because there were before in that first half, there was Roman Abramovich's chance, there was boos. And let's have it right, at half time, booze, and they were calling Enzo Maresca a wanker, bruv. And that's it. I mean, for me, Enzo Maresca blame the supporters. No one rates the guy. He's a yes man. He's lower quality than Poch. He's less experienced than Poch, less experienced than Potter. He shouldn't be in the job. At the end of the day, you can blame him all you want, but who hired him, mate? Who hired the directors that vouched for this guy and who signed it off Ekbali? So, you can't just blame Enzo Maresca completely, bruv, because at the end of the day, he's just a pawn in a blame. He's the fall guy. He always will be the fall guy. And you think that it's all down to him that these players, a lot of these players just ain't good enough. They're overrated. So, where do you want to draw the line? It's a multiple factors in this team. But anyway, half time, the boos, the Roman Abramovich chance, the pressure starts building. And Enzo Maresca makes the changes, all right? Which, to be fair, he made a few tweaks. Do I agree? Reece James coming off? Not really. And Gusto got injured, so it is what it is. But he brought on Tyreek George for Nicholas Jackson, who's had a stinker, bruv. I mean, this guy's meant to be our perfect number 9, according to this manager. And this ownership gave him a contract extension, for rewarding him with failure. Because there's no standards at this football club. But ball comes in. Instinctive comes off the Fulham / Cole Palmer and Tyreek George, bruv. Instinctive strike to get us back in the game. And you've spent 1.6 billion and it is always the Cobham starlet, the Cobham boy, the Cobham player. It's Cobham that ignites Chelsea, that ignites the fan base, that the fan base put pressure on this team, on this manager to sort it out. And who do we rely on? Tyreek George. Salute to the kid. Absolute young player. Let's have it right. These lot are looking to sell him. They want that pure profit. Yeah. As much as I love him, I know what the situation is going to be. But Tyreek George, respect to him because he dug us out. He gave us a lifeline because we're dead and buried. We're still not going to get Champions League football. As far as I'm concerned, I look at the fixtures. I don't see it happening. But let's have it right. Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong on the Minerals FC. Prove me wrong. But Tyreek George, lifeline. Up to 82 minutes, 80 minutes. We were absolute dross, rubbish. So poor. Deserved to lose. Let's have it right. Until Tyreek George puts that ball in the net. And all of a sudden, you get a spring. And then we have it. 93rd minute. Come on, bruv. The ball in from Enzo Fernandez, who sort of blasted it in there in desperation. Gets his assist that everyone's propaganding with all the stats. And it's Neto. Touch. Bosh. Goal. Class goal. Class goal from Neto. But let's have it right. It wasn't because of a team performance that we got those 3 points. It was down to individual brilliance. That's the story. We don't play as a team. We're not a team. We got no spine. We got no leadership. And we had to rely on Tyreek George, our young Cobham starlet, and Neto's individual brilliance to win us the game. And I thought it was a little bit Drogba-esque, that finish from Neto, the way he touched it, bosh, loved that. And that was Limbs in the away end, but it doesn't change the fact about Enzo Maresca, because Enzo Maresca came out after the game, and this is via Fabrizio Romano, obviously. Yeah, he says, in the last 3 years, Chelsea has never been in the Champions League spot. It's already a good season, and the goal from Pedro today doesn't change that. It gives us a chance to be there. I mean, this mentality is Blueco. This mentality is washed. This is not Chelsea elite mentality. This is mediocrity. This is in the mud standards. And that is why we are where we are. The squad assemblement. And I said it, and I tweeted it in the first half. I said, this is the worst squad I've ever seen at Chelsea in history. This is the worst directors we've ever had in the history at Chelsea. It's the worst manager we've ever had at Chelsea in history. And this ownership they're worse than the Glazers, like I said about a year and a half ago on TalkSport. They're the worse than the Glazers. And let's have it right. These lot are the worst owners in football history. So for me, it doesn't make a damn difference. It's win, lose or draw, Blueco out. And it's a lifeline, and it's all down to Nottingham Forest tomorrow. If Nottingham Forest do drop points, then it starts to open up a bit. And then you've got Villa, is it Villa Man City? So there's some big games coming up. Ultimately, everyone's like, we're back on. Listen, it's the hope that kills you, mate. Trust me, you've had it all season. If you don't learn now, you never will learn. And this is the thing, everyone is still results-based driven. For me, I'm not results-based driven. I can see the entire layer cake and how we are actually done. We're buried. We're dead and buried. As far as I'm concerned, as a football club, the transfer market, the journalists that are paid to push all these false narratives, the fact that Enzo Maresca is bulletproof, and listen, let's have it right. The supporters don't want him. I don't want him. But at the end of the day, if you sack this guy, who are you going to bring in? Another yes man? No one's going to accept this project. This project's not for football. Enzo Maresca, I feel like he wants a sack. I'll be real. I think he just wants his payout, bruv. I don't see him lasting. And doesn't matter if we've won the game. It doesn't change anything. I credit Tyreek George. I credit Neto. I credit that fight, that instinctiveness, that belief. But Neto was having a stinker in the first half. He's having a stinker up to that point, to be honest with you. Everyone is not playing to a high level. There's no mentality in this squad, and it's all defeatist mentality. And like I say, individual brilliance is always carrying us out in games. It always does. Maresca says the goal from Pedro doesn't change this season. In the last 3 years, we've never been in Champions League. Well, let's ask, why haven't we been in the Champions League? We're in phase 3. We've had 6 transfer windows. We've spent 1.6 billion. We've bought 90 players. That is the strongest lineup that he picked today. That is our strongest lineup. That's our strongest team. All right, bar Fofana. That is literally the strongest bench. That is one of the worst. It is the worst squad I've seen at Chelsea. And a lot of these players are so unlikable, bruv. They don't play, bruv. They don't play for the badge. I'm sorry. They don't do it. But players like Tyreek George did. He does. If he didn't score that goal, we would have lost that game. And that's what it is. It's fine margins. Pressure makes diamonds. And when I say the supporters have the power, we do have the power. We have the power to basically get this ownership out. People just don't believe it yet. But trust me, Roman Abramovich chants, boos. I mean, that's toxicity at its finest. And it's deserved. It's deserved. It's deserved. And that this gaffer just walks straight down the tunnel, doesn't go and applaud the players, doesn't want to try and create a connection and apologise to supporters. He's arrogant. He knows he's done. Let's have it right. I don't like that. I don't like that whatsoever. I think that is disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Show respect. And the chant for Tyreek George, you could see he's just like butter would melt, bruv. How he was just, I love it. I love it. Don't underestimate Cobham. Yeah, but Cobham, let's have it right. These lot gutted it out, these clowns. They gutted Cobham out for the pound note. And Tyreek George and James and Trev Chalobah and Colwill. It's going to be no different for these lot. Don't think that they're going to be held in a different kind of accountability. No chance, bruv. That's all they see, pound notes. So they will sell these players as they get the opportunity, and they have to, especially if we don't get Champions League football. But as far as I'm concerned, when you drew against Brentford and you drew against Ipswich at home, and you lose at home to a Polish team that's never won on English soil, bruv, the first Polish team to beat us or beat any English team. I mean, come on, bruv. Yeah, we're not in a good state. It's bad behind the scenes, and we got. Listen, Cobham saved this fraud of a gaffer and saved the ownership again, like Gallagher did last year and Trev. You know, dig us out in games. Like Cole Palmer saved us last season. We otherwise would have got relegated without his GA. Cole Palmer is doing an Nicholas Jackson, bruv. He's mad to me. It's like they're singing Ghost. You know the song, Ghost. It's been murder on the dance floor, bruv. Because I'll tell you that now. Blood on the dance floor, mate. Yeah? It's a shambles, mate. But listen, 3 points, we'll take that in isolation. Respect. And it's lovely to win it in the dying minutes. I mean, that's limbs, and that makes it. It just adds that fuel. Do you know what I mean? And that. But what's there to believe in? The project don't change. Nothing changes. It's just the PR is going to be more relentless, and we're going to mud it tomorrow. So I will be doing a live tomorrow, bank holiday. But listen, salute to everyone in here. Up the Chelsea, up Minerals FC as always. I want you to all put your comments down below, and I will all see you tomorrow. You know the deal. Win, lose or draw. My mentality stays the same. It's not results based. It's not results based for me. It's blue coat out. Relentlessly. No surrender. Let's have it right.